Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is episode 18 of the NHL 19 franchise mode here with your Florida Panthers. In the last episode, we were facing the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round against, well, I guess the Toronto Maple Leafs, dummy me. But we lost in an unfortunate 7-game series against one of the best teams in the NHL, the Toronto Maple Leafs. And we had a lot of problems in those 7 games, and the one problem was our power play. We weren't able to score any goals on the power play, which is a big struggle for us, because you would think that with Johnny Gaudreau and Owen Tippett and Laine, we would be able to light shit up on the power play, but we weren't able to. Laine only had 1 goal during those playoffs, and I mean, it was really just a bad playoffs, and it showed on the paper that Sergei Bobrovsky really did carry this team past this playoff series, which is really rough if you ask me. Now we're going to be heading into a very, very big offseason where we're going to have a lot of decisions. We only have one player on the no-trade clause list, and that's Johnny Gaudreau, of course. Everyone else does not have a no-trade clause, nothing, so we really don't have to worry. Our future is also very bright with this upcoming team. We got Jalen Percy. He will be playing next year, and he had a great year down the DAL. 42 points in 52 games, which definitely shows that he could be like a future Keith Yandel / Torrey Krug. And then you also got Maxov Petrov, who also had a brilliant year, down in the KHL as well. So we got 2 future defensemen that can take over the man who is also retiring this year, or we're releasing because his contract is up, and Keith Yandel, who is, well, his contract's expiring this year, which is just absolutely great news for the Florida Panthers. We also got Eric Davies developing, which he had a terrific year down the AHL, only playing 15 games, but in those 15 games, he had a 916, a 260 goals against average, which is a pretty good goddamn year for Eric Davies. We have a very good future coming towards this team, and I mean, we're looking very good. We also have a lot of big news, and that's Jonathan Huberdeau and whether we're going to keep him or not. I mean, he's been a consistent 50-point guy. But could we go after someone better in free agency that maybe could possibly be better than what Jonathan Huberdeau is? And to question that, well, I mean, you have Barkov there, who has been the same type of player, 60 points. But you also got Nate fucking McKinnon. And I mean, if we could get him going with Johnny Gaudreau or fucking Patrick Laine, I think Nate McKinnon would definitely be a player that we could possibly be looking at for the future of this team. And I think that's why we're going to release Jonathan Huberdeau at this upcoming free agency, so we could take a look at who else is in that free agency pool. Because if we do sign Huberdeau, that means we have to spin the wheel to see what type of contract he will be taking for this team. So we'll just have to wait things out and just be patient with things. So let's get to the first task of the lottery. Vegas, Calgary. Calgary won the big lottery since they lost Johnny Gaudreau, so no wonder why they'll probably be playing like shit for a couple years. Malkin, I don't think Yandel has retired because I don't think he would be up there, but let's take a look at games played because then we could tell. Yeah, Keith Yandel has not retired yet in the NHL, but Malkin did. Malkin has retired, 12,000 points, same with or 1,200 points, not 12,000. But Marleau has also retired. And in goaltenders, Roberto Luongo has finally retired after a long, lengthy fucking career. He's finally retired, for Christ's sakes. I mean, it took him long enough to retire, but he finally does. We also need to take a look at the awards, because I didn't do that in the last video, which I'm going to do now. I'll show you guys all the champions. So Winnipeg Jets were your Stanley Cup champions. Nashville was your President's Trophy. And Winnipeg was facing the Philadelphia Flyers. Our Ross goes to Ovi. Ovi won also the Hart. James Norris goes to Miro Haskinainen. Lady Big Tarasenko. Hyselinas goes to Calder. Conn Smythe Halabusik, I think his name is. Vezina Hart. William Jennings, Carter Hart. And then Bill Masterson, Hank. And then Frank J. Selke, Ryan O'Reilly. Ted Lindsay, Ovechkin. And then Maurice Rocket Richard goes to Taylor Hall. So big awards going out there, to big players. Also, I've been kind of butchered on Heponieminen, whatever the fuck his name is. So the guy says it's not Heponieminen the way that I've been saying it, because, I just fuck up on all my grammar. And I'm very sorry, guys, for fucking up on some of my grammar. It's Heponieminen. Heponainen. We're going to call him that now. I don't care if you guys want me to correct it or not. We're going to call him Heponainen. Also, I'm going to change one more thing with the simulation and stuff like that before upcoming year next year. We're going to be turning off offsides, and the reason why we're going to be doing that, I did a test a while ago, and it gets you more points. It gets you up to like 80, 90, 100 points. If you turn icings off, then it gets just to a ridiculous point. So if you turn off offsides, you get at least still a realistic stats for your goaltenders and also your players. So that's why I'm turning offsides off. But we're heading into a very big free agent or the draft. So what do we got this upcoming draft for us this year? We had the 20th pick, and then we got a bunch of other picks this draft as well, which is very nice. We're going to probably have to trade away a couple. And I want to move up in the first round because I want to keep improving that center. I want to get a big-time future centerman for the team. And the way that we're going to do that is we are trading Torrey Krug, the man who we picked up last year in a big deal. Apparently, we do not need him anymore. We do not need his services because we got Jalen, Percy, and Petrov this upcoming year. So Torrey Krug is practically going to be a nonchalant. We're not going to need him. So we're going to trade him to a team that needs him and that has a nice draft pick for us. Oh my god, the 3rd overall selection? Wait. Okay, before Vegas, we got to make a trade very, very quickly here before Edmonton picks. View draft class. What do we got in this draft class here? Wells, 7-9. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, if we get one of those big-time centermans, yes. Let's make this deal. Edmonton, let's make this deal work, boys. Yes. Oh my god. Now, do you guys need a defenseman? From what it looks like, yes, you guys do need a defenseman in Torrey Krug. For top 4 defensemen, you guys can definitely use a guy like Torrey Krug. So we're going to give you guys our defenseman and Torrey Krug. So that doesn't really match up to this to that there. So we're going to give you guys any guys you got. Not Jalen Pierce. We're good on that. We're not going to give you guys that player, but and know what? Yeah, we'll give you Andre Palat because we were planning on trading Andre Palat anyways in the first place. And then let's see if we can just get back like some other players in Hodgson and Sloan. We'll just see if this deal goes through. No, it does not. Okay. Will that go through? No, it does not. So salary cap is not going to work. Does Torrey Krug for the 3rd overall selection rate up? And yes, it does. I don't care. It's realistic. You guys get Torrey Krug. We get the 3rd overall selection. And we've moved up in the draft. I feel bad now for making that type of deal, but I mean, they wanted to make a trade, right? They wanted a defenseman because they are close to being a contender. Like they're super deadly close. They're a contender. They're a champion, right? So you make this deal. We get a fucking all-star and a player like Torrey. Or we get rid of Torrey Krug, which we do not need. And then free agency, they could still make some fucking moves in free agency. And you guys pick up Torrey Krug, who's a great defenseman. You can still make some free agency moves because you guys got $12 million. You got 2 starting goaltenders. My lord, man, you guys are stupid with your money, man. What the fuck are you guys doing, man? I feel bad for you guys. I will take fucking Riddick off your guys' hands. How many years? 3.6 for 3 years? Oh my god, that's horrible, man. What the fuck are you guys on, man? I'm not fucking helping Edmonton out. Get the fuck out of here, man. Wells gets picked 1st overall, so Wells, big-time player. Jude Wells, 31 points, 62. Man, he's already a 3rd-line player. Sim pick, 7-9, he gets picked. So who do we have coming up? Amsterdam, 27 points. He has A's and B's. Meku Gulat, Nicholas Backstrom, A's across the board. Fucking Latvian. Oh my god, yes. Ryder Davies is going to be our big-time player coming to Florida. This is huge for the Florida Panthers. Now, I feel bad. I feel very bad because we just practically got a NHL-ready player, which they do not need. We're going to fucking give you guys also someone that you guys can use because I just feel fucking terrible. I'm going to give them something that they can use. They need a 3rd-line player. So we're going to give them a 3rd-line player. We're going to take back some salary cap as well in the deal. For you guys, so we could give you guys Kirby Dach. We can't even give him a 3rd-liner, so shit. Oh man, they don't want anything. We can't really give them anything because we don't really got anything to trade to them. Whatever, it's their loss. They did the deal, right? They wanted to trade the 3rd-round pack. They thought it was deliberate, so we made the deal like overboard. Excuse me. So now we have another chance to make another good pick here with our draft. So you got Gaspard Dupont, 35. Oh my God, this guy compared to Thomas Vanek, I would say so. William Hoffman, centerman. We do not need another centerman. Left wing, Jared Tam, not really as good. He's compared to Sean Monahan. Jose Richard, Ryan McDonough, Albert Wilkinson, and then Skylar Cochier. But I think the player that I'm going to be looking at is Gaudreau Dupont, Gaspard Dupont, who will be coming to the Florida Panthers right winger, 28th overall. So that's a huge draft for us. 2 years in a row where we just go out there and we get some big time prospects for the team. Peyton Goddard, which I might just pick him because of his name. You also got Curtis Newberry and Corey Ashton, which we can't pick. I think we're going to go after Peyton Goddard, defensive defenseman. We don't know what he'll be, but we'll pick him up. And then Nakamura, Shantz, Vasily, Emerton. We're going to have to go after a shitty defenseman. Or actually, we could just trade this pick away because we got other picks in later on the draft because we already got 3, so we need 4 more left. And we have passed 4, so we can definitely trade away this pick to another team for next year to get better picks for next year. I think that would be definitely the plan this upcoming year, is to get more draft picks for next year. So just do that trade, and then Anaheim has double picks for this upcoming one. Shrikachayev. Yeah, really no one in this pick either. Jesus, man. We still have 4 picks to make, so we'll just go deeper and deeper back in the draft. Is there anyone else good in this draft, or no? Is it just a bunch of shit? Yeah, well, there's a couple picks later on the draft. Logan Reed and... but I don't even know if those are going to be guys that we could possibly even pick. I mean, I think we're already happy with Ryder Davies and stuff like that. I'm pretty happy with the picks that we just got and stuff like that. Now, the question is, do we still go after a guy like Nate McKinnon? Is the question. I mean, you pick him up, you could get a guy that's going to be good this year, but I don't know if that really makes sense for us to go and do that. Because it all depends on who we go after, too, because if we go after maybe Huberdeau and he doesn't want to waive his no trade clause, or even just if he wants to have a no movement clause, then we're going to have to get rid of him and go after somebody else. So it's going to put us in a tough, fucking difficult position. We're going to pick Dominic Redman as our bonus pick here, because I'm done trading away picks, man. Jesus Christ. We've been trading away picks all the fucking time. So we got 2 picks upcoming here. What do we got for picks? So we already got 1 defenseman, so we need a left winger and a goaltender and a defenseman. So Marco Samolsky, and then you got Carlton. Carlton doesn't look too bad. 2A defenseman, Singer, Schmaltz. I think we're going to go with Carlton. And then we need a left winger, which, well, I guess will be Oleg Shumarov. And then all we need is a goaltender to end off the draft, because, I mean, we're already pretty happy with Goudard, DuPont, and Davies. And we'll pick up Nyan. That's something like that. I don't want to say the N word because it kind of looks like it, but it's not Nyan or something like that. Okay, we need to trade away this pick to end off the draft, because it's a pointless 7 overall pick, but we cannot break the rules. We're going to trade away the pick to somebody else like Chicago. We'll trade a 7th for 7th for next year. There we go. Boom, bada bing. There we go. The ending of the draft for the Florida Panthers. We are done and over with. Ryder Davies, huge pick for the Florida Panthers. I got to say so myself. That really helps the bolster the team for this upcoming year. And we got a lot of scouts to sign. So let's get... we'll sign all new scouts then. That's what we'll do. So we got to sign Jonathan Huberdeau. The problem is that I don't think he's going to want very much money. No, he's not. He's going to want a fucking 6-year contract, though. And that is a lot of years for a guy that I don't know if I want to pay him that much for that amount of years. Is a real big problem for me. So we got Huberdeau. So I'm going to spin the wheel. And let's see what type of clause he wants on his contract. Either it's a full-blown no-movement clause, or it's a 5-team no-trade clause, or it's nothing, which hopefully it is nothing, so I'll be right back. Yeah, I'm back. So the movement for Jonathan Huberdeau will be a full-blown no movement clause for the next 6 years. So we're just going to say no bueno to Jonathan Huberdeau and say goodbye to him and him as a player. So goodbye, Jonathan Huberdeau. You will not be missed. That was a ridiculous contract, and we're not going to be signing a player like that. Now, in the future, we could possibly trade Jonathan Huberdeau if we were to pick up like a player like, what's his face? Jesus Christ, man. Like Nate McKinnon, because we got Stanley Lieb already developing, and then also you're gonna get fucking Ryder Davies in the future. I mean, you got a lot of future guys gonna be lining up to get a spot on the team. Anyways, we're going to be focusing on what we could do now with the team. Because Gaudreau, Line, and then you got Platt, Tippett, and then Heppo, Nieminen. So Danton Heinen, I would like to get back on the team, but he struggled this year. How well did he play? Because I would like to get him back, because I would like Kirby Dak going up on the second line, and then Coyle and Heinen can man that third line. So, of course, he's going to want a clause. So that means we're going to have to spin the wheel for Heinen as well, because he's going to want like $3 million and up. With that, we're going to have to give him a no something. So it will be a limited no trade clause for that 1 year. So we could only trade him to the 5 teams that we could trade him to if he signs, of course. So limited no trade clause on Heinen. And then Charlie Coyle, he's only going to want 2 years at, like, we'll sign for another year, because then he's probably going to drop off. So 2.35 for 1 year for Charlie Coyle would be nice. Lawson Cross for that fourth line. He's been a great fourth line player, so 1.6 for him. Zemnis Girgensons, how well has he been playing on that fourth line? He's been mad, but we'll sign back to another deal. He's been a decent player for us. 1.6250 for him. He hasn't been too bad. And then everyone else we could just get rid of. Sierra Noel, he's been jumping up, so we'll re-sign him. And then everybody else we will keep. Pete will just give. Well, actually, Jonathan Pete is actually jumping up pretty good. 76 overall already. Same with Shen, 75. We'll get those guys to a contract. Stanley Lee, we don't have to worry about. Yeah, we don't have to worry about him. Ryder Davies, he can play another year in the minors. Percy, we're going to be using this year for sure. And also Petrov, we're also going to be using this year as well. So defensively, we are fine. Goodbye, Keith Yandel. Bye-bye. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking dick. Fucking worst player in the NHL. Keenan, yes. Bernard, Stillman, Nestelov. I don't think we have to worry about really very many people. And then goaltending, Sergei Bobrovsky's kind of dropping off, so we're going to need someone to, unless Eric Davies jumps up. And that could be a possibility that he jumps up, but Cal Peterson does not want to re-sign with the team, so we'll just release him. And there we go. We are good to go with free agency. Cole Heinen, he will be on a limited no trade clause, so we can only trade him to the 5 best teams in the league when it does come time to come down to trading Heinen. And then that's really it. We're not really capped. We got $22 million in cap space. We have a third line going. We have a second line going with Kirby Dak, because we're going to be playing Kirby Dak up on the second line this year to save us some money. So, I mean, we are pretty damn rich this year. I mean, we could go out there and spend a lot of money this upcoming year. So that's a good thing. Before we jump into free agency, because I'm going to leave you guys. I'm going to leave you guys in a little bit of a teaser of what we do with this team, okay? Oh, excuse me, I keep on burping a lot. Anyways, so what do we got for this upcoming core? So we got Gaudreau, Laine, Nieminen, Tippett, and then Palat, and then also you got Dak. We could get rid of Palat if we do not need him. You got Dak, Coyle, Heinen. So we need a third line player for sure. Girgensons, Krause, and then we are going to need a third line player as well. So we need a big first line player with Huberdeau gone. Defensively, for some reason, Jalen Percy is a top 6. So, oof. Well, we got a big player in Ryder Davis. And if these guys, I mean, they're going to jump up anyways. We're going to play them in that top 6 position because they're already that damn good. They had a really good year in the minors. So I believe that they could take that jump right into the top of the lineup. So, what are we going to go after with this upcoming free agency? And oh my god. Fucking Nate McKinnon is in this motherfucking bitch. Almost $15 million for a player like Nate McKinnon, who is just fantastic, who can pick up and carry a team to the playoffs for sure. You got Mikko Rantanen also in there, but I mean, he's not going to really play very much center for you. And the couple times that he has, he doesn't really win them. And you got Kyle Connor also there. So you got a big free agency core, like the forward-wise, of course. Kyle Connor really doesn't play centerman as well. And then our big-time player that we lost in Huberdeau. So not really any centermans in this draft class. But let's take a look at what Nate McKinnon's contract would be if we were to sign him to that big deal, $14 million. It would be a no movement clause for the half of it, and a no trade clause at the tail end of the contract. So actually, that's not a bad deal. You sign him for 6 years. You get him for $14.3 million. It's not bad. Now, is that cucking us? Yes, it is kind of. But you take a look at Johnny Gaudreau, right? You could possibly trade him to one of the better teams in the league once we get down to like getting Stanley Leap and stuff like that. You're really making this team a powerhouse if you sign Nate McKinnon. We need that big-time centerman. You get Nate McKinnon. You're going to have Nate McKinnon, Gaudreau, and Tippett. Line A, Happen-Nieminen, and Kirby Dack. You're really, really making this team powerful with Nate McKinnon signing to the team. We have $22 million. We have tons of money to kind of share around on this team. And with defensively, we don't have to worry really very much about defense. You got Jalen Pierce for 3 years at 9.5. Same with, or 0.95. You got Keenan signed for 4.5 for the next 3. You got Brodin signed that cheap. You got Ekblad signed pretty cheap. You got Sergei Bobrovsky with Eric Davies developing. This team is a money godland. And if we sign him, we only have to have a no movement clause for the first 3 years, and then that's it. So, Nate McKinnon, you're going to be coming to your Florida Panthers for $14.375 million. Nate McKinnon, please sign with us. Come to the holy grail of the Florida Panthers. Come on, buddy. We're going to reel you in. We do not need James Schwartz. We're going to reel you in. Nate McKinnon has rejected and decided to go back with fuck the Islanders. Oh, this really is just fucking cucked us, man. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. We had Nate McKinnon in the fucking rearview mirror. He was like, I'm gonna be coming down to fucking Florida. And then fucking Colorado swoops in and takes the player that we were so well deserving of taking. And he takes a $4.7 million contract in Colorado. Oof, 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 oof. Man, that really kind of cucks us now. What do we got for... Because Huberdeau's gone now. We didn't want to sign Huberdeau because of that stupid contract that he wanted. Like fucking 6 years and a fucking full-blown no movement clause, which we did not want to do. And, oh my god, man, that really just kind of cucks us of any kind of potential of pushing hard for a playoff position next year. I mean, that really does. And you lost Torrey Krug. And, I mean, we could go after, like, Toivu Teravainen and go after someone that's cheap, who is actually performing very well, and who could play center. We're going to have to look for someone just to trade for and have to play as our centerman for the next little bit. Matt Duchene has too much trade value. Oh, man, this absolutely sucks fucking ass, man. Man, we are feeling the pain right now, Florida fans. We had Nate McKinnon in our rear view mirror. We were feeling him. We were able to touch fucking Nate McKinnon for just that little bit. We were able to feel him. And he just ditches the Florida Panthers. And, I mean, he could have stayed on the team. He could have made this team a Stanley Cup champions. And, I mean, he could have. Like, we would have been, for sure, in the contention of being Stanley Cup champions, for sure. But we just weren't able to pull things together. It sucks, man. It really does suck that we weren't able to reel in the big fish here to your Florida Panthers, but it is what it is. In the end of the day, we lose out on a big-time player, and we're just going to have to move on from it. I think we're going to end the video here, guys. I mean, there's nothing really else we really can do. I am fucking just everything right there. I threw all my energy into wanting to get Nate McKinnon. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to sign all these scouts quickly. We're going to go through every single team. We're going to give you guys some choices, and you guys in the comments can pick who I should trade for. And please just vote away, because we need any type of centerman that we can really get on our hands for the next couple of years to be just that man on that second line or even on the first line. So our first candidate, Toivo Teravainen. He could be our first line centerman, 64 points. He's a solid point producer, better than Jonathan Huberdeau. So Toivo Teravainen, someone to think about. Matt Duchene, you could also package it up with Cam Atkinson and maybe try to get him, but he's 34 years old, so I don't think I really want to do that. But Matt Duchene, you could bring him in for the next couple of years, 32 years old. A lot of trade value, though, for a player that hasn't been playing that great. And then who else do you got here? Do we have anybody that we could also trade for to make the team? Or do we got those two candidates? We got Kyle Turris, but no. Nothing really in Nashville that we can really go after. I think it's going to be definitely another down year for the Florida Panthers. You got Jake Getzel, but a big-time goal scorer. We need more of a playmaker. 3.1. I mean, he's not too bad, 58 points, but not the player that we're going to be looking to go in and get. St. Louis, you got Ryan O'Reilly, a big two-way forward that you could possibly pick up, and we could definitely use a two-way forward, but 7.6 for the next 5 years, going to be leading into his late 30s. That's no bueno. I think our only decisions either Matt Duchene or Toivo Teravainen. William Karlsson also in there, but doesn't really produce very much. Nicholas Backstrom, 84, so he's dropping off the face of the year. So you guys, tell me guys in the comments down below. I'm going to be kind of leaning more towards Toivo Teravainen to bring into the Florida Panthers. But this year has been a rough off season. If you guys have any comments or suggestions or players that we could go in, get here in the free agency as well, I'd like to hear them. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Adios, amigos.